What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today I'm gonna jump in to your guys' comments. Finally, it has been a little while. Oh my god, I wonder if the mic picked that up. This is the first video that I am filming in probably 2.5 weeks. I actually went on vacation a couple of weeks ago, had a great time. Me and the girlfriend took the dogs out to a state park, rented a cabin, had a nice little getaway, kind of broke off from reality for a bit, and it was really refreshing. I came home just feeling really good and ready to work and create some content. And then I got sick. Like right now. Yeah, this week has been a nightmare, needless to say. I'm finally starting to feel better. I have been super motivated all week to do some new content. I've got a lot of exciting things coming up, and honestly, I could have knocked out pretty much everything this week. But yeah, every now and then we experience some setbacks. It seems to be happening a lot lately, and I'm really behind schedule. So apologize to you guys because I haven't been getting my videos out on time. Apologize to all of the people that I've been working with to bring you content because I am seriously way behind. Like, you guys have no idea. It's really frustrating to me because I am the type of person that really likes to keep their word, and I've not been able to do that lately. So with that being said, I feel like I'm physically and mentally finally at least in a space where I can get a couple videos knocked out. I've been editing and posting old videos for you guys, stuff that I filmed before I left for vacation, and luckily there's quite a few of those. But yeah, you should start seeing some fresh content from me here soon. And with all that stuff out of the way, let's get to the comments for this week, which are a lot of hatred because I posted a JCM 900 video this week and a lot of people didn't like it. So here we go. I owned a JCM 900 model 2100 dual master volume Mark III. It helps if you put a patch cable or EQ in the loop and adjust sensitivity to the ear. This goes for all three types of the JCM 900 models. Sad to see none of the other owners mentioning this. That comment came from Speck and Bonin. I have no idea if that's right. Thank you so much for that comment, dude, because I had no idea. I've always seen that little sensitivity pot on the back of the JCM 900 models next to the effects loop, but it never really seemed to do anything when I turned it, but that's because I never had anything in the effects loop. So that is one awesome thing about the amp world and the amp community is you kind of learn something new all the time. I am by no means, I do not consider myself an expert, guys. Even though you see all these crazy amps behind me and all the crazy amps that I've demoed, almost every time I post a video, I learn something new about the amp that I just demoed from the people who leave the comments who have more experience with the amp than I do. So even one of my favorite amps, the Splawn Super Sport, when I demoed that, I didn't realize that there were two different overdrive modes on an amp that I absolutely loved and had custom built from Splawn. One, that goes to show you that I am not the most attention to detail person in the world, but two, that just shows that even if you think you know something inside and out, somebody can come in from the outside with a different perspective, with a different set of knowledge, I guess, and teach you something about an amp, a guitar, a pickup, anything that you had not previously known that might end up changing your perspective on said piece of equipment. So that's one thing I love about this channel, man. I've learned a lot just by posting these videos and you guys posting down in the comments, either telling me things that I've missed or things that I didn't know or things that are not common knowledge about a lot of these pieces of equipment. So again, really appreciate the comments like that, guys, and it just gives me more reason to kind of pick the amp up again and give it another try in the future. I mean, I am down to do a revisited series once we kind of cycle through a lot of the amps, but God, we still got a lot of amps to go. It's an amp for hard rock, rock and blues, not for trash metal. I'm not sure if he meant thrash metal or not, but maybe not. I still have my JCM 4102, a heavy beast. So again, this is another comment related to my JCM 900 high gain dual reverb video that I posted, and a lot of people posted comments basically telling me that the amp was made for hard rock and it was not made for metal tones. I mean, a surprising amount. There was a lot of comments that said that exact thing. You know what other amp was made for hard rock tones and not for metal tones? The EVH 5150. Now, a lot of people will classify Van Halen as 80s metal, and obviously, you know, I will not dispute that. They absolutely are. But metal in the sense of the word being more modern types of metal, heavier styles of music. And the 5150 was designed to play Van Halen type stuff. It was not designed thinking that all these extreme metal genres were going to adapt that amp over the years, but they did anyways. So Why does that not apply to any other amp in existence? In fact, people say the JCM 800 is the original metal amp, and even though I think there are a lot of misconceptions out there of the capabilities of the JCM 800 when it comes to anything modern, you will see people arguing left and right whether it was made for hard rock or whether it was made for metal, and in the end, it doesn't really matter. It was made for whatever purpose you want to use it for. So, with that being said, I think that I am going to make a series, or at least a dedicated video, where I get metal tones out of non-metal amps, because number one, when somebody tells me that I can't do something or that I shouldn't do something, that's pretty much a surefire way to get me fired up to go and do it regardless. Not only because I'm just a very curious person and I like trying things for myself, but also because I like being defiant. It is in my personality, and you know what? I just can't help it. So yeah, be on the lookout for a video at some point where I take amps that you would not expect to get great metal tones out of and get, subjectively, great metal tones out of them. That was not a complete sentence. There, I finished it. As an amp tech who agrees this is the Marshall turd versus a 2203 JCM 800, you need to demo this amp through the actual cab it was voiced to, a Marshall cab with G12 T75 speakers, and play more rock riffs of that time period and not the new metal stuff. Number one, when have I ever played a new metal riff? I'm gonna answer that for you. Never have. No disrespect to the homie Stay Metal Ray, but I have never played a new metal riff on this channel ever. Second off, while I do think that you have a point, I do think that Marshalls are absolutely not voiced for vintage 30 speakers whatsoever because of the upper mid spike that they have inherently. That doesn't mean that they can't sound good on those cabinets. And of course, I have told you guys time and time again that when I demo stuff, I try to demo them on the same cabinets, and if not the same cabinets that I use all the time, which is mainly my Mesa 19 or my Mesa traditional cab, which is, you know, a Marshall sized Mesa cabinet with vintage 30s in it. Then I use another traditional size cab with vintage 30s in it that at least sounds somewhat similar, because vintage 30s can sound drastically different from one to the next. But with that being said, yeah, Marshall amps are the only amps that I like through G12 T75 speakers. Would I record a Marshall amp on a G12 T75 speaker? Probably not. The G12 T75 is pretty tough to get a good tone out of, honestly, when you have a mic on top of it, at least in my experience, and I know several other people feel that way. Christian Cola being one, he has an entire video about how he hates that speaker, but, you know, really played around with it to finally get some sort of decent recording sounds out of it. Even then, it wasn't his favorite. But yeah, a lot of the time when an amp is designed, it is designed around a specific speaker, and typically that is the speaker that comes in the cabinet that is meant to be paired with that amplifier. So even with that being the case, that doesn't necessarily mean that for your personal taste, that is going to be the amp and speaker cabinet that's going to work best for you. Perfect example being the 5150. The 5150 was kind of voiced around Eddie's vintage greenbacks in his Marshall 1960 cab, and then the Sheffield 1200 speaker was built to model those broken in greenbacks in that cab. And even though I love, I'm falling apart here. And even though I love greenback speakers, I do not love the Sheffield 1200 speakers, and I really do not like the 5150 through those Sheffield 1200 speakers because they have an inherent fizz to them, as do a lot of the Sheffield speakers for whatever reason. They're not my favorite. The 5150 amp itself is already, you know, a little bit fizzy on the top end, especially if you're pushing the gain, and the combination of those two can just make it sound just really fizzy. Go figure. And that is why I vastly prefer a 5150 with pretty much any V30 loaded cabinet other than the Marshall 1960 vintage, because that is also a pretty fizzy sounding cab and speaker. But yeah, that was a long-winded way to say you're right and you're wrong. You are right. That amp was voiced around the G12 T75 speaker, the speaker that Marshall was using at the time, and honestly, it sounds really good with that speaker in my opinion. But what speaker it sounds best with is going to be fully subjective, and I use V30s for all my demos to give you a clear demonstration of how the amp differs and not how the speaker cab colors the tone on top of the amp being different. And that's that. Real quick interruption, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about a new course from my pal, Fluff. If you have ever been interested on what it takes to create high quality YouTube videos such as the ones that Mr. Ryan Bruce himself makes, but didn't really know where to start, couldn't find a comprehensive guide. Well, guess what? Now there's a comprehensive guide. And it doesn't matter if you want to start a YouTube about guitar gear or about popcorn flavor reviews. This guide walks you through all the basics regardless of the content that you want to make and shows you what you're going to need to make high quality content. So Fluff has taken his 11 years of experience of trial and error on his end and compacted it all down into a 3-hour step-by-step course on how to make high quality content. He actually walks you through making a video for an overdrive in this course and basically shows you from top to bottom how it is done. This includes lighting, audio and video recording, editing, thumbnail creation, like literally everything it takes to make one of these videos that I am sitting here making for you right now. He walks you through every single step. He gets into the nerdy details of the cameras. He gets into the nerdy details of the lighting. And I will be 100% honest with you guys, no BS. I wish that I had had this course when I started, because a lot of the trial and error that he went through is the same trial and error that I am still going through. And it really would have taken a lot of the guesswork out of getting my videos right. So if you are interested in finally getting going on the YouTube channel that you have thought about for years and just never really felt like you had the knowledge to do it, well, all the knowledge is compacted into this course for you. It's gonna make getting started much easier, and I would highly recommend picking up this course because it is going to be like a massive shortcut to quality content creation. The course goes live this Monday and has an introductory price of $150, and that is for the first week only. After that, it will go up to the standard price of $250. If you guys are interested in purchasing this course, I will put an affiliate link down below in the description of this video for you guys to check it out. I binge watched this thing while I was sitting on the couch sick a couple of days ago, and honestly, I picked up quite a bit of stuff even after doing this for a year and a half that I did not know previously, so I found it very helpful. And if you're starting from scratch, you're gonna find it extremely helpful. Can't recommend it enough. Again, down in the description, click that link if you're interested. The list of legends that use that amp and still use these amps is impressive. Back to school, noob. When did I ever say in the video that legendary tones have not been created with this amplifier? Here's a hint. I didn't. It's really funny how many people left me angry comments just based on the thumbnail of the video that I posted for the JCM 900, because it is really clear that they did not watch it. I posted as a question even in the title, is this the worst Marshall flagship amp? I posted as a question in the thumbnail, and people clicked that and angrily left comments where they clearly did not watch the video where I say that I think that the 900 is underrated. It is not a terrible amp. It is a good amp. It's not my favorite amp, but you can get great tones out of it if you work at them. But with that being said, I 100% expected this to happen. I know how the internet is, and anytime I do an even remotely controversial amp, I always get a lot of hate comments just based on the amp itself and, you know, not based on anything that I do in the video, which I find is hilarious. I think it's so funny that people are so angry that they're just cruising the internet looking for things to be pissed off about. But at the same time, it's not really surprising, because that's basically, you know, what the world has come to these days. The internet is just a cesspool of toxicity, and the YouTube comment section is basically the dumpster fire of humanity. But yeah, nowhere in this video did I say that nobody notable has ever used this amp and gotten good tones out of it. Nowhere in the video did I even say that I didn't like the amp. I actually do like the 900, and the one that I demoed in that video sounded really good in my opinion. And I was basically on the fence of whether I wanted to keep it or not, and I'm kind of disappointed that I did sell it, because now I don't have any JCM 900s. A couple of months ago, I had all 3 models, and I never got around to doing a video of comparing the 3 models, but we'll work back up towards that at some point here in the channel. But yeah, again, I just thought it was humorous how many people posted hate comments based on my thumbnail and title alone without actually watching the video. So for all the goofy dudes out there who posted those types of comments, you're the real MVP. The 6505 is for those who go C# and below. No. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for me today. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video. For the next video, keep leaving me your ridiculous comments on my videos, and I will keep responding to them. I actually had a lot of fun with this one because of the goofiness of some of the comments on the recent 900 video, and that's pretty much where they all came from. But you know what? I love them either way, positive or negative. It gives me something to feed off regardless. But if you're more into positive interactions when it comes to gear and guitar stuff, you should join my Facebook group by going down in the description of this video and clicking the link to Kyle Bull's Home for Belligerent Amateur Musicians. The Facebook group has been growing quite a bit lately, and I really enjoy the vibe that the group has. It's just a lot of positive people sharing, you know, their gear and questions and comments and stories about their gear. And I love that. I love positivity. That's personally what I thrive on. And that's why I want to create a positive environment to talk about gear, because a lot of the other gear groups on Facebook are very, very toxic. And I'm just not into that. So join that Facebook group if you're into talking about gear without being harassed. And again, if you guys want to check out Fluff's course on content creation, go down in the description of this video, check it out. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's like a shortcut to getting good at making these YouTube videos. You'll probably suck at the beginning no matter what, because I sucked really bad, and so did everybody else who's ever tried. But if you want to get gooder faster, check that course out. And as always, if you want to support my channel, the additional affiliate links that I have are down below, including my Sweetwater affiliate link. I've also got some links down there from Eargasm. If you want to protect your ears, go ahead and click that link, get yourself a nice pair of earplugs, and I get a little kickback and you save your hearing. Everybody wins. Or finally, you can consider becoming a member of my Patreon community by joining this list of fine people here, and I'll love you forever whether you want me to or not. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.